Alright champs, I'm assuming if you clicked on this video, you either truly do care about the CBA negotiations that are going on in the W, or you're just looking for some WNBA off-season content. And both are valid reasons because the off-season is tough. So for those of you who don't know, the CBA is the collective bargaining agreement. And it's basically just contract negotiations between the league officials and the players, or the WNBPA, the Women's National Basketball Players Association. The executive committee of the WNBPA consists of NECA, who's the president, Kelsey Plum, who's the first VP, you have Stewie Fee, Alicia Clark as the VPs, Brianna Turner and Elizabeth Williams as treasurer and secretary respectively. And there's also a lot of player representatives like Maddie Seagrass, Enrique, Naz Hillman, Marina, Asia, Sabrina, I think, and there's just a bunch more. The WNBPA are essentially trying to come to an agreement on the terms of employment for the WNBA players, and that covers salary cap, benefits, and basically anything that has to do with the players in the WNBA's employment. And it's safe to say that things are not going well. There are some major points and issues that the WNBPA is aiming to address. First and foremost, the players want to be paid more, and I know a lot of people go, oh, the league doesn't turn a profit, or teams don't have the money to pay the players, or no one watches the games, and I believe all those points come from a place of ignorance. I implore you to take a gander at this video by Richard J. Murphy. I'm going to link that in the description, and it's titled, "Is Profit Really the Best Measure of a Business's Success?" He basically breaks down the reality that turning a profit isn't necessarily the result of success in a business or a company, but has just as much to do with luck, and there are many external factors at play when running an organization.
But the point is, at this moment, that profit is not just the income less the expenses. Profit is going to include both these measures, one of which is, broadly speaking, under the control of the reporting entity, the enterprise, whatever we wish to call it, and the others which are. Now, let's just have a think about those externalities that affect profit. Some of them are just things we have no control over. Things like the failure of a supplier or a customer, or perhaps more importantly of our IT. Those, to some extent, are considered to be internal by accounting. Other events are harder to recognize in that way. We have the consequence of regulatory change on the future capacity of a company, individual, or state to make profit from an activity.
And I mean, do you know how the finances in the WNBA work? I doubt it because it isn't publicly disclosed information. I'd also like to point out that the WNBA is in the process of a major expansion, adding new teams, building new arenas and facilities, and we don't know how much money has to be outsourced to contractors to make these things happen. People are practically throwing money at the league right now trying to get a stake in, but that's neither here nor there, because the real kicker is that of all the revenue the WNBA gains, the players only make 9% of it. 9%, which is completely insane. And let's compare that to the NBA, where the players make 49 to 51% of the revenue, NFL players get 48% of the revenue, and NHL players get half of the revenue, so 50%. Do any of these numbers stand out? I don't know about you guys, but there does seem to be a clear outlier. That's an insane discrepancy, and you'd be foolish to disagree. Honestly, that's ridiculous. The WNBA has money to give, they just aren't giving it, and that's a big talking point, like I said, of these CBA negotiations. And I'm not even going to address the no one watches claims. I actually will address it. There was a 242% increase of sold out games from 2023 to 24. The Valkyries sold out all of their home games in 2025 in their first ever season, mind you. The league eclipsed 3.15 million fans. The Valkyries, Fever, and Liberty all averaged over 16,000 fans per game in this past season. ESPN averaged 1.3 million viewers in 2025. The Fever versus Sky game in 2025 was over 2.7 million viewers. Disney and ABC set records for viewership. I mean, come on, guys. People watch the WNBA. I don't really know why people continue to try to make the claims that the stands are empty, because if you watch any game, they're pretty much all sold out. I mean, the concept of not paying your employees what they're worth when they're the ones bringing in the fans. I mean, Caitlin Clark, Angelreese, and paigebueckers are responsible for a large influx of these new fans, and no matter if you like them as players or as people or not, it is impossible to disagree with that. And what Nafisa said is absolutely true. They deserve to be paid in accordance. Caitlin Clark is literally the top 6 most paid female athlete in the US, and it's mainly from endorsements. And not even mainly, it's literally all endorsements. I think the WNBA makes up like 1% of her yearly earnings. It's something ridiculous. The proof is in the pudding. You can literally see it in this article. Look at the bar. You can't even see the WNBA salaries in this. It's not funny, but it honestly is hilarious that what Kathy said in that, as a response to what Nafisa said, that Caitlin should be counting her lucky stars that they have this media rights deal. Caitlin had most of these, if not all of these endorsements before she even got to the league. That's ridiculous. And it's insane. And I think that's honestly embarrassing as a league that you aren't even, I mean, look at the rest of the list. They're all gaining almost half of their yearly earnings in revenue that they get from their sports on top of endorsement. But anyways, back to what we're talking about. Sorry, that was a tangent. That's the main thing that the players want to discuss with the CBA. However, the CBA heard what they had to say and said, all right, how about this? Let's just take away housing. What? Remove housing and not agree to up the revenue. Anyways, we're gonna come back to that in a second. But the reason I initially said things aren't going well is that there have been numerous extensions on these talks, which were initially set to end on October 31st, 2025. And then those got extended until November 30th, 2025. And now they've been extended again to end through January 9th. And that means clearly there has not been any sort of agreement that both parties are willing to accept. But what could this actually mean? Well, first and foremost, this could lead to a lockout or a player strike, as we've seen numerous times in other sporting leagues like the MLB, the NBA, NFL, which would mean no WNBA season. And at this point, it seems like that's what Kathy wants. And I think that's very unrealistic that we're gonna have no WNBA season. There's definitely gonna be some sort of discourse leading up until the final stages of the negotiation, but I do think there's gonna be a season. I think they're gonna figure something out. I don't know what the hell Kathy is doing. I don't know if she thinks being fired is cooler than quitting and she wants to like go out with a bang or something. She wants to leave a lasting legacy on the league. I don't know what she's doing. The CBA in its most recent proposal suggested a slight increase to the base salary. It's still not where it should be, and it stated that the teams should no longer provide housing to the players, which makes no sense to me. That's kind of the dumbest thing they could have proposed, as if like anyone would have wanted to agree to that. This mostly affects rookies and players on short contracts who don't even know if they'll be on the team when they finish breakfast. Like, housing has been included in the WNBA since 1999, and it's essential to a league where players are traded around like Pokemon cards and weighed 5 hours after being drafted. 47% of rookies didn't even make opening day rosters in 2025, and obviously the WNBA doesn't have like a feeder series like the G League for player development. Here, let's play a game actually. I'm gonna tell you the 3-month salary of a player and you tell me who it is and what team they play for. $1 million in 3 months. I'll give you some time to think. Actually, I won't. It's Liz Cambage in China. In 3 months, she doubled her entire 6-year earnings from the WNBA by playing for 3 months in China. 3 months. And honestly, more power to her, period. The CBA and the WNBPA seem to have an extremely long road ahead of them. And I truly do hope that they come to an agreement that benefits the players and the league, while also paying players what they deserve and what they bring to the league. If you learned anything from this video, it's that the players are unhappy and also have opportunities elsewhere. Hell, I didn't even mention Unrivaled. The 2nd-year league, by the way, pays athletes significantly more than the W. It just isn't looking good for current WNBA administration, and I truly hope that they get their shit together, because I can see Unrivaled potentially rivaling that was funny. It wasn't. Rivaling the W in viewership and in revenue brought in. And that would really be unfortunate, because there's a lot of fans that truly do love their teams. Like, Unrivaled is a great league to watch and all, but I think the WNBA still has it beat for, you know, actually rooting for a team and coming together as like a community, rooting for whatever team that you like, going to the games. But I like I said, I really hope the W gets it together, because it's so demoralizing to these players that their league not only doesn't respect them, but they don't value them either. It's just really sad. And the players honestly deserve so much more than they are getting, because at the end of the day, they're the ones bringing in the fans and bringing in the money. So why would the money not be going to the people that are bringing it in? I think that's the easiest way to put it. If you learn it, like I said, if you learn anything from the video, the players deserve to be paid what they're bringing in. Anyways, I'm gonna go play in the snow because it actually did snow here, which is a nice surprise. And I'm probably gonna take my cat Zuko outside to play in the snow as well. So later, champs.